Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Emma Daily Podcast. I'm Emma.
Hi, Emma. Hi, everyone. Have you ever gone to a coffee shop and suddenly forgotten what to say in English? Or maybe someone asked you a simple question and your mind went completely blank? Well, don't worry. Today, we're going to practice some very useful everyday conversations that you can use in real life.
And the best part is that everything will be simple, natural, and easy to understand. I'm excited for today's episode.
Me too. So, what is the first situation we're going to explore today?
Let's start with the beginning of the day. Michael, what is the first thing you say when you wake up?
Well, if I see my family, I always say, "Good morning," with a big smile. It's simple, but it makes everyone feel good.
That's so true. Sometimes I'm still sleepy, so I just say, morning, in a very quiet voice.
That's very common. Morning is a great casual greeting for people you know well.
Exactly. But what if you're talking to your boss at work? Would you say the same thing?
Probably not. For my boss, I would say, "Good morning, Mr. Smith." It sounds much more professional.
Yes, exactly. Small changes can make a big difference in English.
That's true. After greetings, I usually talk about breakfast. I love talking about food in the morning.
Really? How do you ask someone about breakfast?
I usually ask, "What are we having for breakfast today?" Or sometimes, "Did you make coffee yet?"
Did you make coffee yet? That is a question I ask almost every day. I really need coffee to wake up.
Me too. Without coffee, I become a little grumpy. Then I start saying, "I need coffee right now."
That brings us to our next everyday situation, a coffee shop.
Exactly. Coffee shops are great places to practice English.
Let's imagine we're in one right now. How would you order your favorite drink?
I like to be polite. I usually say, "Hello, could I please have a large latte?"
Perfect. That sounds very natural and friendly. What about when you're in a hurry?
Then I might say, "Hi, a black coffee to go, please." Short, simple, and still polite.
Exactly. And to go is a very useful phrase for beginners.
Right. It means you want to take your drink with you. But if you're staying inside, you can say, "To stay, please."
That's a great example. Simple and useful. Now let's talk about paying. The barista usually asks a very common question. Do you know what it is?
Of course. They usually ask, "Will that be cash or card?"
Exactly. And I usually answer card, please.
Same here. Technology makes everything so easy these days.
It really does. But Michael, what happens when the card machine suddenly stops working? And trust me, that happened to me once at the worst possible moment.
That is a classic situation. If that happens, I usually ask, "Can I try again?" Or, "Do you take cash?"
Good job. Those two questions can really help you in a stressful moment. It's always smart to have a backup plan.
Definitely. Now let's move on to another part of the day. Let's talk about traveling to work or school.
Commuting can be interesting. I usually take the bus, so I check the time quite often. How do you ask someone about the bus schedule when you're waiting at the bus stop?
I usually look at the person next to me and say, "Excuse me, do you know what time the next bus arrives?"
Perfect. Excuse me is one of the most useful phrases in English. It's a polite way to get someone's attention in public.
Exactly. And if the bus is very late, people often say, "The traffic is terrible today."
Traffic. Nobody enjoys traffic. If I'm late for a meeting, I usually call a coworker. What do you say when you're stuck in traffic and running late?
I normally say, "Hi, I'm sorry, but I'm stuck in traffic. I'll be about 10 minutes late."
That's a very clear message. You explain the problem and give a time estimate. Perfect.
Thanks. It's always better to communicate clearly when you're delayed. It shows respect for other people's time.
Speaking of time, we've been talking for quite a while. Time flies when you're having fun.
It really does. And if you're enjoying this conversation so far, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Emma Daily Podcast, and share it with a friend who is learning English.
And if you're still listening, comment coffee below. We want to know who loves coffee as much as we do.
Now let's get back to our everyday conversations. Let's talk about what happens when you arrive at work or school.
You walk into the office and see your coworkers. What's the most common question people ask?
The classic one is definitely, "How are you?" or "How's it going?" Both are very common.
I use "how's it going" all the time with close coworkers. It feels friendly and relaxed.
And how do you usually answer? Do you tell them your entire life story?
No, usually just a short answer. Good, thanks. How about you? Simple, friendly, easy.
Exactly. You don't need to explain everything. A quick answer is usually perfect for the workplace.
What if you're having a really bad day? Is it okay to say that?
If it's a close friend, sure. You can say, "To be honest, I'm a little tired today." It's honest, but still polite.
I love that expression, to be honest. It sounds natural and helps create a real connection.
Exactly. Now let's move to my favorite part of the day, lunch break.
Mine too. I love deciding what to eat. I often ask my friends, where should we go for lunch today?
That's such a common question. What if you want to suggest a specific place, maybe a burger restaurant?
I would say, how about we get some burgers today? It's friendly and doesn't sound bossy.
Great example. How about is one of the most useful phrases for making suggestions.
Absolutely. You can use it almost anywhere. For example, how about we watch a movie tonight? Or how about we go for a walk? And speaking of walks, something funny happened to me during a walk last week.
Wow, Emma, you're on a roll today. Those are excellent examples for our listeners to practice.
Thank you, Michael. I try my best. After lunch, we usually have to go back to work and talk about tasks, right? Sometimes you need help from a coworker. How do you ask for help without sounding demanding?
I usually use a polite phrase like, "Could you help me with this report when you have a minute?"
That sounds very polite. When you have a minute shows that you respect the other person's time.
Exactly. It gives them a choice. They can say, "Sure, I can help you right now."
And what if they're too busy at that moment? What might they say?
They could say, "I'm a little busy right now, but I can help you after 3 o'clock."
That's a very normal response. It's not rude at all. It simply explains the situation clearly.
Exactly. English speakers usually appreciate clarity and politeness together. It makes communication much easier.
Now, let's fast forward to the end of the workday. You're ready to go home and relax. Best feeling ever, right?
Absolutely. When I leave work, I usually say, "Have a great evening, everyone."
That's classic and professional. But what do you say to a close work friend?
Usually something like, "See you tomorrow," or "Catch you later."
I love that expression, catch you later. It's casual, friendly, and very common.
Exactly. You'll hear it all the time among friends.
Now you're finally home, and it's time for one of my favorite topics, dinner.
I knew food would come back into the conversation.
Of course, food always finds a way. How do you ask someone if they want to cook or order food?
I usually say, "Do you want to cook tonight, or should we order pizza?" It gives two easy options.
I always choose the pizza option. Always.
I had a feeling you would say that. Ordering food is definitely popular after a long day.
Very true. But if we decide to cook, we need to check the fridge first. What would you say then?
I'd look inside and say, "We have some chicken and vegetables. We can make a stir fry."
Yum! We can make is a simple and natural way to suggest a dinner idea.
Exactly. It's practical and helps everyone decide quickly. And honestly, cooking together can be fun.
I agree. After dinner, it's finally time to relax. People usually start talking about their favorite evening activities.
Emma, what do you normally do to relax at night? Do you watch TV or read books?
I love watching a good series. Sometimes I tell my friends, I'm watching a really interesting show right now.
That's a great conversation starter. Then people naturally ask, "Oh, really? What's it about?"
Exactly. And I can answer with something simple like, it's a story about a family living in London.
Perfect. Simple present tense works great when you're describing a TV show or a book.
Exactly. No need for complicated grammar, just keep it simple and natural.
I like that. Personally, I prefer reading before bed. It helps me slow down and relax after a busy day.
That's a great habit. But now I'm curious, Michael, what kind of books are you reading these days?
That sounds wonderful. How do you tell someone about the book you're reading?
I usually say, I'm reading a really interesting book about history at the moment. It's very inspiring.
I like that phrase. At the moment sounds very natural. It's a nice alternative to saying right now all the time.
Exactly. Small changes like that can make your English sound more natural. Speaking of daily conversations, let's talk about weekend plans. People love talking about weekends.
Especially on Thursday and Friday. Everyone suddenly becomes very interested in your plans.
That's true. The most common question is, do you have any plans for the weekend?
And if I don't have any special plans, I usually say, not much, just relaxing at home. How about you? Simple and easy.
Perfect answer. But what if you're doing something exciting? Maybe going to the beach?
Then I can say, yes, I'm going to the beach with some friends on Saturday. I'm really excited.
Great example. I'm going to is perfect for future plans that are already decided.
Exactly. That's why real conversations are often the best way to learn grammar.
I agree. Real English feels much easier when you learn it through everyday situations. And that reminds me of another topic people talk about all the time, the weather.
Oh, yes. People can talk about the weather for hours.
Especially in English-speaking countries. It's one of the easiest ways to start a conversation.
If it's a beautiful day, I might say, beautiful weather today, isn't it?
That's a great example. The phrase, isn't it, invites the other person to join the conversation.
And most people reply with something like, yes, it's lovely today, or absolutely, it's gorgeous outside.
Instant conversation, instant connection. Very simple.
But what if it's raining all day?
Then people might say, it's freezing today, or I can't believe how much it's raining.
Very relatable. Weather's one of those topics everyone understands.
Exactly. And sometimes one simple comment about the weather can help break the ice.
That's another useful expression, break the ice. It simply means starting a conversation and helping people feel comfortable.
And that's what today's episode was all about. Simple conversations, real situations, and practical English you can actually use every day.
We talked about morning greetings, coffee shops, work, lunch breaks, weekend plans, and even weather conversations.
And the best part is that none of these phrases are difficult. Small sentences can create great conversations.
Absolutely. The more you use these phrases, the more natural English will start to feel.
And now we want to hear from you. What was your favorite phrase from today's episode? Tell us in the comments below.
And if you learned something new today, don't forget to like this video and share it with a friend who is learning English too.
Also, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to Emma Daily Podcast and join our growing English learning community. We upload simple, natural, and real English conversations to help you speak with more confidence every day.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. We truly appreciate every single listener.
Take care, keep practicing, keep listening, and we'll see you in the next episode of Emma Daily Podcast. Bye, everyone.